Hello, this is the trade site Forex market preview and international economic data roadmap for the week beginning Sunday the 5th of November, ending Friday the 10th of November. Hope you had a good trading week. Here's a look at the dollar index daily chart. It looks flat, but it was actually an okay week. Let's go through the daily charts of the major pairs, then we'll look at the intra-week action, then we'll talk about the data coming out around the globe all week. We got through a Fed announcement this week. Here's the euro dollar. That was very flat. As you see, we'll see when we get to the intra-week action. 100 pips for the whole week. Pound dollar was a little better, back and forth, up and down. Still only a couple hundred pips though. Aussie dollar, very flat for the week. Pound yen, very flat. Not quite a 13 sell signal there yet. The euro yen, very flat for the last month. I mean, looks flat. It's actually a better week than you'd think though, looking at this. So here's the euro dollar intra-week, the 30-minute candles. So high to low is basically not even 100 pips. That's pretty pathetic. But if you look at the pound, it was a little bit better, and there were some wider moves. It was up and then back, and we did all right. I think almost all of our calls this week were on the pound. So that's why when you get 250 pips more of action, it was a decent week. All right, so let's take a look with nothing really to look at on the charts to focus on. Let's just take a look at the economic data. Again, the U.S. time shift this Saturday going into Sunday. We got Japan monetary policy meeting minutes at 7:50 p.m. on Sunday. MI inflation gauge out of Australia, job advertisements and commodity prices out of New Zealand, inflation expectations out of New Zealand. Monday, we've got German factory orders, CPI out of Switzerland, then all the services PMI numbers, Spain, Italy, France, Germany, broad European sector, all within 15, 20 minutes of each other. Centex investor confidence out of Europe, PPI out of Europe. Canada's got the IV PMI, mortgage delinquencies out of the U.S., loan officer survey out of the U.S., Australia's got their AIG construction index. Japan's got average cash earnings. UK's got the BRC retail sales monitor. Australia's got the cash rate announcement. That's their basically like the Fed announcement. On Tuesday, we've got German industrial production, French government budget balance, foreign currency reserves out of Switzerland. UK Halifax housing price index, Italian retail sales, retail PMI out of the broad European economy, and retail sales as well, retail PMI and retail sales. GDT price index out of New Zealand, JOLTS job openings here in the U.S., Fed Chair Yellen speaking at 3:30 in the afternoon on Tuesday, China's trade balance going into Wednesday, leading indicators out of Japan, French trade balance, Canada's housing starts and building permits, crude oil inventories here in the U.S., 10-year bond auction. They got a rate announcement out of New Zealand at 4 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesday, and then their press conference. Bank lending, summary of opinions, core machinery orders, and current account out of Japan at 7:50 p.m. Wednesday night. Home loans out of Australia. CPI and PPI out of China. 30-year bond auction out of Japan. Economy watcher sentiment out of Japan going into Thursday. Unemployment rate out of Switzerland. German trade balance. M2 money supply and new loans out of China. Canada's NHPI number. Unemployment claims out of the U.S. Final wholesale inventories here in the U.S. Natty gas, that's the weekly number. 30-year bond auction here. Got the M2 money supply out of Japan. Monetary announcement, or the rate now, this is the statement from the Bank of Australia. They already did the announcement at this point. Tertiary industry activity out of Japan going into Friday. French industrial production and preliminary private payrolls. Italian industrial production. UK's got their manufacturing production and industrial production. US is on bank holiday, so the stock market's open, but banks are closed, so we'll have no calls Thursday night going into Friday. This is for the Veterans Day holiday here in the U.S., and the stock market will be dead. Charts, as usual, brought to you by eSignal. If you've not yet taken a trial of our services, feel free to do so. I would say there's not a lot to focus on this week, so we'll just see what the market brings us. Have a great trading week.